Ladies and gentlemen, the minister.
Mesdames et messieurs, le ministre.
Dear precious people, today I want to speak with you from the subject of the implantation. I want to start with the words of Christ. This is Matthew who recorded this. The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. Somebody should say good seed. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares amongst the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said to him, Sir, didst thou not sow good seed in thy field? From hence then hath it tares. And he said unto them, An enemy has done this. I'm talking about the sowing of good seed, but yet an enemy implanting something else. Have you ever wondered why it was called a plantation? Maybe the real bondage, the real slavery, was not just about keeping people in a field out there, but the real bondage was what was implanted in their mind. For generations after you have left the plantation, what was implanted in you has remained. That's what I've come to talk about. What has been implanted in you that an enemy sowed? That an enemy sowed. It's a reason why Willie Lynch said in 1712, if you break a man right, you'll make a slave, and then they will teach their children bondage. 300 years later, his words, unfortunately, have proven to be oh so true. Harriet Tubman said, I freed 1,000 slaves in my lifetime, but I would have freed 1,000 more if they knew they were slaves. Do you know what's been implanted in the garden of your mind, in the field of your mind, or have you normalized it? First, they put a brand on you with an iron to show you whose property you were. Now you put the brand on yourself. That's why they call it a brand. What's been implanted in the field of your mind? The man knew when he woke up, you got to come to me with a higher level. We're talking about the subconscious. When he awakened from his subconscious state into his consciousness, he knew that something was not right. He knew that the field had been tinkered with. This is my question. Who's your enemy now? Could it be that the enemy is your inner me? First, they called you oppressive names. Now you call it to yourself. And you've taken letters off. And you've tried to slangify it as if to make it better. What they started, you finished. Do you realize who the real enemy is? The esoterics teach that an enemy is the idea that there is anything opposing the good in your life. That's the enemy. Huh? What if the enemy is the way you think? What if the enemy are the thoughts you tell yourself? What if the enemy that is holding you back started with the seeds that were planted in your father's and has been passed down through the generation, and because you never recognized that an enemy did this, you repeat what is abnormal and you perpetuate a pattern of bondage and degradation. And so I leave you with the question that I started with. What has been implanted in the field of your mind? And do you recognize perhaps the way you think is because an enemy has done this?
Thank you for listening.
Merci d'avoir écouté.